Peace, everyone, and welcome. I am Jonathan with JRS Inspires, and today is officially day 13 of my 21-day challenge, where my goal is to meditate for 10 minutes a day for 21 days. Now, there are some things that are very similar to the previous challenges that I've done. There are some things that are drastically different, and then, of course, some things that I'm just learning about meditation itself. So one of the things that I have found that is very similar with this challenge versus all of the other challenges that I've done is that there's like these different stages as you work through the 21 days that you kind of go through this roller coaster of ups and downs, and you're on a real steep incline. Like when you start out on a roller coaster during that first 5 days, and you're feeling really excited, you're telling people about your challenge, you're feeling excited about the potential change that you're going to have in your life. And right about day 6 to day 12 is when you start to come over that hump and reality starts to set in, and you enjoy this fun little roller coaster of life, right? So it's not the end of the world. It's not this big scary thing. It's just something that happens. That excitement starts to fizzle, and your brain starts to kind of associate with, hey, this is going to be my new normal. This isn't just some fling or something that they're going to try and I can just kick to the curb. And your brain likes to stick to what it's familiar with. It doesn't like trying new things, because trying new things could mean injury or death or just scary, right? Because we don't know what's lurking around the corner. With this challenge, it's what you set out, what you want for your life. That's what's lurking around the corner. So it's important for us to be able to stay focused on committing to the challenge. And I found that, or I continue to find, I should say, that with these 21-day challenges, it really creates a safe space for us to work through these challenges and to say, hey, I'm going to start at day 1 and I'm going to work all the way through to day 21. And if I learn something profound about myself, and if it's something that I want to continue to do for the rest of my life, then I'll do that. If not, then maybe I'll just learn or take stuff that I learned throughout that process and use it later on in my life, etc., right? It's just a safe space to take that thing that you felt was going to make you happier, healthier, just live a better life, and take action on it for 21 days straight and just live with the results, right? So these challenges create that safety space to help us kind of enjoy that coaster instead of fearing that drop in that, roller coaster, right? A lot of times the people that I work with, they get to that point where they're kind of working over that hump, and that's where they want to give up. They give into that idea that, hey, maybe my brain's right. Maybe I'll just stick to what I'm familiar with. I know that I'll be safe there, etc. But that's not what we want. So working through these challenges really creates that space, and it's important for us to build consistent change over time. I know with these 21-day challenges, some people will say that it takes too long, it's too much time to get to that point. But when you take a step back and you realize how many times you try to introduce new things into your life just to revert back, you'll see that it's actually a very fast and consistent way of creating change into your life. So that's something that I have found that is very similar with all of these 21-day challenges. Something that is drastically different with this 21-day challenge is that I am trying to introduce something new into my life. So I'm trying to introduce and create the space to have a 10-minute meditation every single day. And I stay pretty busy. I like to stay active. I invest in real estate. I have all this other stuff going on, right? That I can say, hey, I have too much going on. I can't meditate today. And I'm having to say no to something different every single day versus the other challenge that I had with, like, the caffeine, will say, where all I had to do was say no to one thing in particular. One thing was my focus for that 21 days. I knew that whether I was going to the mall, to my parents' house, driving past a Dunkin' Donuts, or at the fire station, I knew what I could almost predict what I would have to say no to. With this challenge, when you're trying to create the time and space for yourself and to carry out something new, you're having to say no to something different every single day. So I'll give you an example. I had real struggles. As a matter of fact, I don't even qualify it as a day of successfully being able to meditate when I went to the fire station for my first shift on this challenge. I went to shift, and in my last challenge, the fire department was a focal point. I knew that that's where I could really increased my confidence on being able to say no, because I was going to be surrounded by caffeine, by the normal routines that I had. And I didn't really take that into account the first shift that I went to the fire station with this meditation challenge. That day we were slammed, training, calls, just super busy, that I was nowhere near being able to relax and meditate, do my deep breathing exercise for 10 minutes, right? And so what I've had to say no to and then kind of get creative with is to now wake up 30 minutes earlier than I normally would before I go to a 24-hour shift to get and to fit in my meditation. Now, I was kicking rocks and moaning and groaning. I was all upset because I've already given up caffeine, and now I'm waking up 30 minutes earlier to go to a 24-hour shift. But like I was telling you, with these challenges, our brain tells us like, oh, you're gonna die and it's gonna be the worst thing ever. You're gonna be super cranky and grouchy. You're not gonna be able to do your job effectively. And it's just not the case. Allow yourself that opportunity to see it through, and you'll see that you're still here, you're still yourself, you're still able to do all the things that you want to do. It's just these thoughts that you get because your brain just wants to go back to what it's familiar with. If you are wondering about the, I did just say I did not do one day of my meditation challenge. I'm extending, because there was actually 2 days that I'm just going to extend it to the end of my challenge. And it just goes to show that with these challenges, it's not always going to be perfect from day 1 to day 21. If you fall into some inconsistencies, then be disciplined enough to add those 2 days or however many days to the tail end of it, and so that you can get the full experience of taking action for 21 days. Maybe not consistent, but being able to do that 21 days as consistent as possible. So those are things that I have found similar and some differences between them. As far as meditation itself, I kind of have a funny story. It was about 3 days ago. I had a really good friend of mine that I don't even think I told him in particular. I might have been telling somebody else, again, that first 5 days where you're like, yeah, I'm doing this new challenge. And I think he jumped on board and was trying to do the meditation challenge. But he calls me and he goes, hey, I'm trying to do this meditation challenge and I just keep falling asleep, man. I'm not doing it right. He's like, well, how do you meditate? Like, is there like a how-to? Is there like a meditation 101? And I'm like, I'm kind of figuring out myself. And as you know, the synchronicity would have it, I had actually fallen asleep that day that he called me during my meditation. I had fallen asleep for about an hour, and I don't see it as a fail. I don't see it as a mistake or doing it wrong. Sometimes you're just tired, and sometimes that's what your body needs. And you can almost, chalk that up to being like an amazing meditation session, right? Because what you're doing is you're giving your mind and your body rest for 10 minutes or however long you want it to be. And so I encourage them to continue to do it and to just see what happens. That, falling asleep is just probably what he needed. And as he works through it, he'll be able to, build on that skill. Because I do see meditation as something that is kind of like a muscle. It's something that you have to continue to exercise and work through, because during my first 5 days of meditation, it would take me about probably, I'm not staring at my watch, but it would probably be about 7-8 minutes before I could calm all of my thoughts down to really just focus on my breathing. And then I was doing only 10 minutes, so I had maybe about 2 to 3 minutes of actually being able to focus on my breathing and to relax until my alarm went off that I was done, right? Now that I've been able to continue to do it, now it's kind of inverse itself, and now I'm about 2 to 3 minutes where I still have rambling thoughts going through my head, but then I have about 7 to 8 minutes of calm, good breathing. I get the little tinglies in my arms and my hands, and I feel just the breath coming out almost effortless by the time I'm done with my challenge. Even coming out of the meditation, I found that, and like I was sharing with that extra 30 minutes in the morning, I don't like to rush it. I like to be able to take out about 30 minutes of my day. That's something else that I had to kind of work through to realize that it's 10 minutes to kind of unwind, get yourself ready, 10 minutes to meditate, and then give yourself about 10 minutes to come out of it and just reflect on what it is that you maybe experienced or thought about, or what came to you, or just anything in particular that you experienced. So far the challenge has been very insightful. I've obviously had some hiccups along the way, but nothing that's extremely discouraging or that's going to make me want to give up on the challenge. So I'll definitely do another video in about another 7 or 8 days at the end of, or actually we have about 10 more days because I extended it 2 days. So about 10 days, I'll do another video at the tail end of this challenge and just reflect more on what I learned, more of the experiences. Maybe I can get my buddy on here to share his experience if he was able to, you know, work through it and stay consistent with it. But on any regard, man, it's definitely exciting. You know, these things are all happening one thing at a time. It seems like that slow process, but like the caffeine is still not a part of my life. Introducing green juices, adding these meditations, it's good. You know, it does take time, but it's worth it, you know. And if you're looking for something that isn't just a like, I don't know, like a fake process, like this is something that you have to do. I can't pay anybody to do this for me. I can't, you know, take a class. Like, this is all stuff that we go on through a journey and the experience of it. So I encourage you to jump on board. If you have any questions about the 21-day challenge, any of them, working out, I've done working out, meditation, coffee. Another huge one for us and my family is we try to do something fun every single day. I feel it's really, really important for a family to be like the fun part, right? If your kids are looking for fun elsewhere, then that's where they're going to start to get influenced by other families and other people. If you make it where your family is that safe place and that structure where they're able to learn and to explore and to have fun, you have a better opportunity to have that positive effect on your family and on your kids. So that's another challenge that we've done from like a family perspective. But you know, the potential for this is pretty much endless. We're starting off pretty much on very like minute basic things that you can see are still, even though they are smaller challenges, they are still having profound results and profound effects on our lives. So like I said, just add your comments down below. Follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram at JRS Inspires, YouTube obviously, facebook.com/JRS Inspires, and stay tuned for more of the challenges and more information. All right, until next time, guys, I'm Jonathan, signing out. Peace.